Hey everybody, this is Neil here. Welcome to the next lesson of Copy Crash Course. In this lesson, we are going to go over creating your value proposition, or essentially making your offer. Okay. Um, by now, you've already established the benefits. Okay. They're if you think about it I always sort of think about my copy in the form of a sales letter. Although, if you do a webinar, it's just a sales letter in PowerPoint form. If you do squeeze page, it's a slimmed down, designed to get them to a sales page, right? So ultimately, you're thinking about a sales page, right? And I'm sure you've seen plenty of those by now. So as you get to the bottom, now you've established the benefits. They understand how your thing solves their problem, but now they need to understand the value of that in order to be willing to part with their money, in order to be willing to exchange their money for your solution. They need to be 100% confident of the value of it. Okay. Uh, Value proposition, as defined by Wikipedia, is a promise of value to be delivered and acknowledged, and a belief from the customer that the value will be appealed and experienced. A common way to look at it is value equals benefits minus cost. Okay, and there's a lot of ways that you can explain this to a customer. Okay, so let's just say, for example, you're teaching somebody how to lose weight. Okay, in your course. So let's say, even better, you're teaching somebody how to, we'll stick with the golf example, how to improve your golf swing, right? So the benefits to them are they're going to improve their golf swing, they're going to look cool to their buddies, et cetera, et cetera. So if the cost is minimal in their eyes compared to the value of the benefit, you stand to make a sale, right? If they wait and they say, I don't really need to pay $1,000 to improve my swing. It's not worth it to me. Your price is too high, right? Your price is too high. It doesn't mean you have a bad product. It just means they're not willing. The benefit isn't that big enough that they're willing to pay that steep of a price, right? And then there's the other thing where you can also add value too. So maybe if that one particular thing isn't valuable enough, but if you also get additional golf lessons and a free golf bag and et cetera, now you can begin to add value and you can tip those scales back in your favor, okay? All right, so here's a simple breakdown of an easy way to look at it. And this is the once you've introduced your product, okay, or your service. Now it's okay. Here's what we've got. Here's everything that's included. Here's all the benefits. Here's everything that it will do for you. Here's what you will, be able to achieve and enjoy and experience once you've gone through and used the product, right? Here's why it's valuable to you. Okay. Here's why it's valuable to you. You know, just for example, back to the golf example. Okay. Um, you know no longer will you have embarrassment. That can lead to better business deals on the golf course, which can lead to more money. And if it's essentially, all the things you can do to justify value, right? If you're teaching somebody how to make money, for example, with an information product, if they pay you $50 and all they have to do is do what you told them one time and it'll return them $500, that's a 10 to 1 value, just off of one time. And then if you say, then if you duplicate it, of course, now the value scales high, sky high, and that becomes a no-brainer, so, decision for the customer. Okay, it's the same thing. It's how valuable is it to me? Okay, and how much is it going to cost? Everybody wants to know how much is it going to cost me, right? Okay, so types of value to establish. There's a couple different ones. I wish I had better wording for it, but this is just my way of explaining it. Okay, what you get, okay, aka what's in the box, right? And how much is that worth to the customer? What's their preconceived, if what they get when they open the box is, a DVD, a pamphlet, etc., that teaches them how to, do golf, what is their perceived value of a DVD? Is it $20? Is it $30? Whatever, right? What are similar physical type products or tangible type products worth to them, right? So that is something you can add into the value. You can also look at what would the value be for them to create that thing themselves, right? So maybe, yeah, if you go and buy a DVD at the store, it's 20 bucks, but if you were to actually go through the process of creating that whole DVD, shooting the videos, et cetera, that could cost you thousands of dollars. So now you can begin to raise the value of that perceived value of that item, okay? And then the benefits, right? We talked about this a little bit already, but how valuable are the benefits to you, right? If, another example might be, losing weight, right? Or losing weight could be a huge benefit to you because it can have massive impact on your life. It can improve your dating life. You can feel better when you wake up in the morning, and how much is that really worth to a person? If you could be more productive, if you could be 20% more productive because you're healthier every day, how much more work can you get done? How much more money can you make? You see how you can begin to build the value, through these different things. And this is another one as well, value as compared to the competition, right? So, um, you know, let me go back to the golfing example. The reason that this is so valuable, not only is it more affordable, pricing wise or whatever, but this is going to help you hit the ball 50 yards further than any other course out there, right? So now you're taking up the value. Now, if it's going to teach you more and make you better than any other course out there, then maybe you could charge more than any other course out there, right? And then value compared to cost, right? As far as what they're going to get, and like I explained in that formula, the benefits minus cost, okay? So those are kind of the main things that you want to establish, and you can literally do them in sections in your copy. First one, establish the value of the physical things. Now establish the value of the benefits. Now establish, compare yourself to the competition and show why you're more valuable than them, and then show why the cost is minimal, right? So at the end of the day, then you can explain, see, now when you spend this 50 bucks, it's going to mean nothing compared to the feeling you're going to have when you lose those 30 pounds or, whatever the case is, right? Okay, so a general rule of thumb to create an irresistible offer is to price your offer at 1/10 of what the customer would willingly pay based on the value you have defined. Okay, and now I'm not saying you have to don't drop your pants and sell your stuff for less than what you should, but if you want to create it irresistible, if you want to make it just such a no-brainer that the a majority of people are going to jump all over it, and it depends on the goals of your thing, if you're trying to create and establish a higher value, you may not want to drop your price 1/10 of what they would pay. But the bottom line is so I'm going to give you an example. Okay, let's just say that on average something like this is selling in your market for 30 bucks, right? So in order for you to make that a no-brainer for the customer, what you want to do is establish a value of $300, right? And that's not very hard to do, okay? As long as you've done that before you reach your price, you'll make it a no-brainer deal. So the best way to figure out what a customer is willing to pay, right? The best way to figure out what that 30 bucks is, what that number is, um, for one, you've already done your research as far as the high and low in your market, right? So the medium is probably, where the customers are most likely willing to pay, right? Somewhere in the middle. But what you want to do is you want to add up the value of the major benefits as you explained them to the customer, combine that with the value of the tangible, what's in the box in the eyes of the customer, and then there's the value that they would max value they would be willing to pay. And that max value is only the person who has the money and really sees the value and has heard every word you read. Not everybody's going to read all your copy. Some people are going to skim it. So the number at the end of the day needs to be something that you already have determined that they're willing to pay, and then you establish a higher value than that number, at least 10 times that amount. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Before you make the offer, it's important to recap the major benefits, the major benefits, and value of what you're about to offer them. So, now you've gone through, you've recapped the, you've hit the value that they're waiting, they can't wait to get to the price. Now you got to make them stop one more time and think about it before they hit that actual here, okay, reveal of the price, right? Don't forget, when you pick this up today, this is going to be able to help you, or this is going to help you do X, Y, Z. It's going to help you solve that big ass problem that you have, and it's worth thousands and thousands of dollars. We could charge this much. Our competitors are charging this much, but for buying through us or through this special deal or this amazing offer, you're going to get this one low price or whatever the case is. There's other different ways to establish it too. Like figure if their competitors are charging monthly, you charge one-time fee. There's a lot of different things you can do to position yourself and your offer as a high value as compared to what else is out there and what it can do for them. Okay, and those are the things that you really want to take into consideration, and you want to make sure you explain clearly to the prospect. Okay. So by now you've established major value in their mind, and when they see that a price is 1/10 of what they've already deemed in their mind that they would pay, it becomes a no-brainer. So when they've already seen, okay, this is worth $300. Yeah, that's pretty right. I would pay 300 bucks. I could see how that would have cost me 300 bucks. Shoot, now I can get this for only 30 bucks, right? And then there's also the other thing of tackling the skepticism. The why is this so cheap, right? If you're going to offer a great deal, explain why you're offering the deal, okay? I'm offering this at such a low value because, I really just want to show you what it is that our company can do for you, on the hopes that you become a long-term customer. That's just straight up honest. People appreciate that kind of thing, okay? And again, you take the skepticism out of their mind. Okay, so if you wish to establish and retain a high value according to your positioning, if your positioning determined you need to be the higher end of the marketplace, what you want to do is simply demonstrate far more value in your copy. To get a higher price, you're going to need to have a much more valuable offer, okay? At the end of the day, though, it's a very similar concept. Your goal is to make it a no-brainer. So if you want to sell something for $1,000, then you need to establish that it's worth 10,000, right? And the higher the numbers go, it can seem silly. Like, why would you sell a $1,000 thing if you could make 10,000? So sometimes 3 to 1, 5 to 1, as you get into bigger numbers, are more reasonable. But at the lower price points, 10 to 1 works really well. Okay, anything under, anything that you're in the hundreds or below range at the actual price, a couple thousand, a few thousand value is good. If you're in the 10,000, 20,000, 100,000 range, 2 to 3 times, 5 times might be more applicable. Okay, so that is the deal. That is the ultimate goal of what you're trying to accomplish with your value proposition. At the end of the day, you want them to look at that and say, "Yep, that's worth it to me. I'll take action." Okay, and same thing if you're doing a squeeze page. If you're giving away something for free and they're not buying, you still want to establish the value of, hey, yeah, I would happily be. If it's something you're giving away for free, you want to establish the value of, this is something that I would happily pay for, so I'm stoked to get it for free, right? So that's the proposition you want to make there, okay? If it's a free thing. So anyways, that's it for me on this video. I will see you on the next video where we'll talk about how you can create urgency and excitement and really push people over the edge that are on the fence and so forth. And then we'll get into putting everything together and wrapping it up, and so forth. So, all right, see you on the next video. Bye for now.